So hey y'all, today I'm going to be doing a quick look as well as a review as well as swatches of this newly launched eyeshadow palette from Sugar. Now comes the question, why am I reviewing this when there are already 4 of it in the market and there are just 2 extra shade ranges? So comes to the factor that this palette is absolutely different compared to the usual launches. This contains 10.4 grams of product and it retails for 1,249 rupees. In my opinion, I think you can kind of spend around 800 to 900 for this palette. Wait for a good sale and grab it that time. So let's understand, why am I making a review of this palette when I've already used the other variants in this palette and I've never made a review with that. So the first thing comes to the hand swatches, which I'm going to be inserting right now over here. So you can see in the hand swatches that they have a completely different formulation compared to their existing range. So you can see in the pictures which I have inserted, we have 4 true mattes in this palette, which are peach pink, hot pink, lilac and rosewood. The first one is rose pink, which is basically like a glitter. So it's just a pressed glitter which is put in. It's kind of like a cool toned rose. Now moving on to the second interesting shade which I love, which is iris. So this is basically like a purpley blue reflex kind of a color, and it kind of gives you that duochrome effect with that sparkle added to it. Talking about the third interesting finish in this palette is the rose duochrome shade, which is basically a duochrome eyeshadow. It's very foiled in nature. It's not sparkly, it's just metallic and foiled in nature, and it has a rose kind of a color with a golden shift to it. So let's move on to the last color, which is pink purple. So this is kind of like that lavender kind of a color. It's a lavender matte which has like golden and pink reflecting golden particles as shimmer specks which are mixed in it. So if you take this and if you tap your brush and then you just apply it, you'll just get the matte lavender. And if you pack it on really well, you'll see tiny specks of gold and pink which are reflecting on your eye. So the shimmer is not over the top with this shade. It's kind of somewhere in the middle. Some people consider it to be a dud and some people love this kind of a formulation. So I'm wearing lilac and pink purple on my eyes today, and the look which I'm going to be creating for you will have all the other shades included in it. So a couple of factors that I wanted to talk about with this palette. The first one being blendability. This blends like a dream. There is literally no chalkiness, there is no difficulty to blend, even though this palette has pinks and purples. Pinks and purples are one of the most difficult colors to formulate when it comes to eyeshadows, and they did a really good job with the formulation. Now let's talk about how the intensity of these colors are, especially with that color lilac as well as hot pink. I honestly did not have any trouble using it. Even the maroon performed really well. The most common problem with a lot of eyeshadow palette is chalkiness and how it's pressed into the pan. Now this palette is definitely not chalky at all, especially even the lighter shades, like for example the shade pink purple over here. It's literally like a pastel color, so it is not chalky at all. It blends well, it also builds really well. It sticks really well onto your concealer or your eyeshadow base, giving you intense full coverage kind of intensity. So who would I recommend this palette to? Definitely someone who enjoys this color story, and if you're a beginner as well as if you're in your advanced level, you are definitely going to enjoy this palette. The formulation is actually really good. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys for another review. Until next time, bye-bye.